Good morning. Hi, I'm Cindy Bertram, and thanks for joining me today on Good Ship Happens. It's been a really exciting week. I'm still energized because I did attend Sea Trade Cruise Global Conference, which is being held every year in Miami Beach at the Convention Center. It's great. I started attending it about 12 years ago. It's fantastic. They've been doing their conference for like 42 years now. It's great. It's done by a firm, but it's great. And so much energy going on. Cruise line chairman is speaking, different speakers, different panels, entertainment, and also that big trade show, which was great too. But it was great because one thing that was really fun was actually, my new book is out. Good Ship Happens, and 6 out of the 7 people in my book, executives, were there. So I got a chance to talk to briefly. I also have a photograph taken of them individually too. It was great too. But just a great conference. And I'm still kind of wheeling my brain over what was going on too, as far as the topics and things too, because once again, with the cruise industry is really going very well. What they do too is the first morning they start about 9:30, and they have a panel with the cruise line chairman executives. Really great what they shared too. And Bud Douglas, actually the president of the Cruise Lines International Association, actually was the moderator who hosted the panel too. It's really great. Plus, what's great too is you have time to kind of go through the trade center. It's so huge, but it's great. Different people. What they do too is they have different things too. Plus, I picked up my copy of Sea Trade Cruise Review. Okay, shares all the good things going on in the cruise industry. Really great too. And like, it's just so great. So much stuff going on too, as far as shaping icons and also entertainment, what's going on, different ports. But just really fun too. So it was really great to be there too. And different things too, because what they did too was actually different things too, as far as group division, whatever too. But it's great too. Great conference. It goes from usually Tuesday through Thursday. And they've already got the date set up for next year, of course, also in April, which is great. And it's really great, once again, too. It's so great to be there and interact with different people, executives, friends I know that work in the industry, also meeting people, too. But once again, it's so fun to see and actually talk to 6 out of 7 people in my book, Good Ship Happens. Yes, another great example of Good Ship Happens, right. As far as new things going in the cruise industry, I could talk for hours. Okay, there's so much stuff that they shared at the different events. But it's very great also. Like I said, they have different, besides in the trade show, they've got the companies that work with cruise lines as far as just, technology, that kind of stuff. Plus, they also have a section on this side, which is actually more the companies that are actually working at the different ports, et cetera, too. And they have entertainment. It's really fun, too. So that's really great because you don't know who you're going to see. But one thing that came up, too, is as far as new ships, of course. But this just came up too, which that was really exciting, of course. Princess Cruises just ordered 3 bigger next generation ships. Yes, Princess Cruises. They're going to be expanding with their new Voyager class ships. They just announced this during Sea Trade, which is great. And it's going to be 3 different ships. It's in their Voyager class ships category, and it's going to accommodate 4,700 guests, and they will be delivered in 2035, 2038, and 2039. Okay, and they're going to build on their Sphere class platform, which is their Sun Princess and their Sun Princess, which have approximately 4,300 guests. And this new ship category is going to actually accommodate 4,700 guests. These will be 183,000 ghost registered tons, and they're a little bit bigger. We got reimagined decks, of course, also staterooms, and the Piazza designs will cater to the brand's global travelers. Also with diverse deployments too. Also be dual fuel, primarily powered by liquefied natural gas, LNG. And what's really great too is with their Voyager class, it's going to really attract another generation of Princess guests, but also the loyal guests too. And they've been doing a lot of research, of course, too, about this as they design the ships. And that's one thing that the president of Princess Cruises, Gus Antorcha, had said too. He just mentioned that Voyager class is going to really delight both our loyal guests and attract next generation Princess guests. We've been leveraging extensive customer and agent research to strike the right balance between evolving our proven vendors and also introducing new concepts and partnerships that are grounded by what matters as far as their cruising future guests too. But that's really fun. I love new ships. They excite me all the time, as you can tell. And what they're doing too is he mentioned further too, he said from elevating from exceptional dining and inviting pool environments to elevated entertainment and beautifully reimagined spaces throughout the ship, we're having no area untouched as we thoughtfully evolve the Princess experience too. And the ship's being built by Fincantieri. And another thing fun too is actually, in addition to Princess building 3 new ships, okay, and the Carnival Corporation has actually 7 other new ships scheduled for delivery between 2027 through 2023. So Princess orders now make that 10 new ships coming out too, which is great too. And I know that they mention the Voyager new boats not only are in the Cardinal order book, but also the cruise industry order book goes beyond the 1 ship for each, going in right now with Norwegian Cruise Lines, also with Oceania Cruises, another cruise line division too. That's great too. But just really kind of fun that new ships are being built too. And it's fun that Princess Cruises is building their new class of ships, a little bit bigger, not too big, but a little bit bigger. And these are their Voyager class ships coming out in 2035, 2038, and 2039. So think forward, of course, don't worry about it. You can actually book in advance, but it's great too. I love it. Really fun too. Also, what's fun too is actually, I was talking about Riviera Luxury Cruise before, but they're adding a new ship to their fleet, the Mailer. I think maybe it's pronounced Mahler, to their fleet in 2028. And it's going to be the Riverside Mahler in 2028. It's going to be making the first time that a former cruise ship will sail for Riverside Cruises. Okay, they did was right now the ship, which had been a Crystal cruise ship, here's a Crystal One Under, had actually had actually been set up for another cruise line, Uniworld, particular cruise collections, as Elizabeth. Right now, the Mahler will join its sister ship, the River Debussy, on the Rhine, Maine, and was in Danube Rivers. And the Riverside Luxury Cruise actually purchased 5 of Crystal's former ships in 2023. They've been operating 3 of these, the Mozart, the Debussy, and the Rebelle. So that's really good too. And it's really great too, because once again, the Verb Cruise Line had mentioned with the addition of the Mahler, it really emphasizes commitment to thoughtful growth and expansion. And it's really the next chapter for Riverside Luxury Cruises. And Jennifer Halboth, who's the CEO, I've met her, she's a great person, mentioned this is the next chapter for Riverside. Introducing the Riverside Mahler gives us a new opportunity to take everything we've already built so far and apply it to the Rhine in new creative ways, more access, more flexibility, a fresh take on the river that everyone thinks they really already know, but this is another dimension too, which is great too, really fun too. Something else too is on the waterways. Okay, they've been around for about 24 years now. And what they did was they just announced, right now they currently operate 31 ships. Yes, they operate 31 ships. And right now they are actually going to be expanding their growth. They've already got 3 new ships set to sail and debut in 2027 in the debut Danube and Macon. In Europe, Always already previously confirmed 8 new ships, and now they're going to be adding 7 more, including 1 in Portugal. So right now, their expansion, it's going to be the largest expansion to date, with their goal of growing its fleet to more than 50 ships worldwide by 2032. As far as the growth, much of the growth is going to actually take place outside Europe, with more than 60% of their future growth capacity expended to expand in regions like Africa and Asia. Also, that includes additional ships in the Nile and Mekong, as well as the first expansion with the Chobe River. And several new ships have already been outlined as part of their rollout. The Ama, I think it's pronounced Nubia, will debut on the Nile this year in 2026, yes. Also joining the Ama Dalia and the Ama Lilia in 2027. And the Ama Rudi become the second, will be the line's second double width ship in the Danube, following the Ama Magna, while the Ama Mea will actually launch on the Mekong. And also their Ama Fiora is going to debut on the Rhine that year too. Additional ships planned for 2028 include the Ama Clara on the Rhone, the Ama, I think it's pronounced Gallia, on the Douro, and also the Ama Clio on the Nile. What's really fun too is actually the Ama Rudi is actually named after who? Their co-founder, Rudi Schreiner, the co-founder of Ama Waterways, which is really great too. So how fun to have a ship named after the co-founder of Ama Waterways. He's very involved too, great person. He's known as the architect of river cruising, great person. Besides their fleet expansion, Ama Waterways continues to build on its onboard experience, and their fares, when you book the cruise itself, the fares actually include accommodations, meals, and wine and beer with lunch and dinner, daily guided excursions, Wi-Fi is included, the services of a cruise manager throughout the journey. Also, they mentioned recent updates include expanded wine program with more than 30 included selections, new Italian lunch offerings in the chef's table, and a new day-all dining concept called Savor at the Lark. And once again, they do continue to invest in their land programs, which is great too, with pre and post cruise packages that include hotel stays, guided tours, and transfers. That's really fun too, because once again, if you've never thought about doing river cruising, think about it. There's so many choices, and they have options like crazy, good options out there too. Because once again, with Waterways, they've been around for over 24 years now, but once again, they really kind of revolutionized the idea of river cruising too. Over in Europe, they've expanded because once again, they launched this last year. They've got one or two ships actually sail on the Magdalena River in South America, which is really great too. And they're smaller ships, of course, which is great too. So it's really fun to see cruise lines expanding in very, very great ways too. Something else that was really great too was actually mentioned Princess Diana's Voyager class order, which is really exciting. They got three new ships coming out with their Voyager class, which is great too. And as mentioned, they're reimagining their decks, staterooms, and designs too. It really brings that next new things with Princess Cruises too. The ship's a little bit larger, not too large, which is great too. Something that's really fun too, as I mentioned, I did attend Seatrade Cruise Global Conference, just flew back on Thursday night. It was great, fantastic. What they did was they had different panels, of course, too. And what they did too was they actually had a panel, different panels besides the opening ceremonies with the cruise line chairman for each of the major cruise lines themselves too. But also they had different panels, which is great. They had one that was just actually focused on new cruise line leaders, which is great too. What they did was they actually had presentation, which is great too. And it was moderated by Ann Kalash. She's great. She's part of the whole Envar group that actually handles Seatrade Cruise Global Conference. What they did was they actually included 5 new cruise line leaders. They're signing into their roles right now. And what they did was this person on the job is actually Wesley DeSilvia. He's president of Region 7 Seas Cruises as of March 2nd. And it's great too. And then also a new cruise line starting is actually Aman at Sea, and Jonathan Wilson is heading up this brand new luxury cruise line, as president of Aman at Sea, which is great. And then let's see. They mentioned different things too, because once again, as far as luxury, one thing they all mentioned too is actually, luxury is really there's demand as far as luxury too. But what's great too is actually they've got different things too. Two other cruise line executives on the panel included Norwegian Cruise Line's president, Mark Kozlowskis, and also Tracy Wilson is a senior VP and general manager for Disney Cruise Line. They got a bigger pool of customers, but they still have different ways to differentiate themselves too, which is great too. And all of these 5 executives agree that there's room to survive as far as global demand continues to rise. And guess what? 37.2 million passengers in 2025, according to the Cruise Lines International Association's actual study. And for Disney Cruise Line, of course, their growth, of course, is continuing with their 8th ship in the fleet with the debut of the Disney Adventure in Singapore this year. It's really another example of how cruise lines reach out to different markets too. And also, as far as challenges, and the industries are going very, very fast too. And although they're expanding rapidly, the biggest challenge is how do we not compromise our exceptional experience as we grow too. And then for Aman's president, Mr. Wilson, he mentioned they're going to be their first new ship next year. The biggest challenge is really how to bring a known hotel into the cruise space too. He mentioned it was 100% about how we do ensure the spirit of Aman as it's translated into the seas and oceans too. So that's really great too, because they share really great insights and transfer things too. Something else that came up too during the panel discussion too was actually private islands, of course, too. And those really are something that really attracts people that maybe have not cruised before. It's a great way to really kind of experience different things. But once again, too, is Mark, who's the president of Norwegian Cruise Line, mentioned as far as the private islands, they really draw people in. And he mentioned that their private Bahamas islands are really attracting customers. He said, we really deliver on what people dream about a Caribbean island should be. And also with Norwegian Cruise Line's Great Stirrup Cay, which is just recently added a new dock, so their ships can actually dock right there rather than tendering. They got a pool, adults-only area. He mentioned we've got plenty of space. We've got beautiful sandy beaches. We've got plenty of chairs. We've got plenty of umbrellas, right? Don't have to bring your umbrella. Remember that too. We've got plenty of cabanas, also plenty of bars. We've got plenty of dining options too. And once again, Disney Cruise Line, they have their own island too, by the way, too. And Disney's president also mentioned our islands are great too. It sounds like you're describing our island too. How funny too. But once again, with Aman at Sea, like I said, they're new. And Mr. Wilson mentioned that they've kind of found a way where they can actually, each line can actually carve out a niche too, because that's really great too. Because once again, people will say, okay, what's the best cruise line? The problem is there are different niches out there too. They're all a little bit different. They stand out different ways, and people need to know about that too, because once again, you got to find the right cruise line to go on, the right ship size, whatever, because there's so many options out there too, but they're good options too. And once again, too, is what's fun too is with honesty as well. As he mentioned that I love this conversation because it highlights the segmentation, also category, because I've experienced a lot what's being discussed, and I'm sitting here thinking we're going to do the exact opposite because we're in a different direction too. And that's how it should be. Even as far as luxury cruise lines, there's plenty to delineate a brand like Regent from Regent or another hotel brand too. So once again, and this is our private islands look very different from your private islands. They're very, very critically important too. So that's really great too. As far as a brand, you mentioned you got to be true to your brand. And or not what they mentioned too is they've actually Been around for 38 years, yes. And so, the president had mentioned the company really created a very clear brand DNA exploration and also exploration only too. And that's great too, because once again, it's just great things that they're doing in the cruise industry, a lot of new ships. But once again, it's really fun to see new panels that come up that focus on different topics, including newest cruise line leaders. Okay, they're just going into their roles that recently too, which is great and how fun. And they just kind of share really fun stories too. So it's really another great aspect of Seatrade Cruise Global Conference. As far as new ships, of course, I mentioned this before too, but we've got new ships coming out this year, next year, 2028. Also, as mentioned with Princess Cruises, now going into their new class of ships coming out in 2032. But I'm sorry, they're going to be delivered 2035, 2038, 2039. Once again, they're bigger, but once again, just their new Voyager class too, next generation they call it too. But besides that, of course, we've got new ships coming out this year. And some have already been out too. Norwegian Luna actually debuted already, as did the Star Seeker and the Four Seasons, which is part of Four Seasons Hotels. Four Seasons 1 actually debuted in January this year. That's the one that's got the very, very famous captain on board, Captain Kate McHugh. She's the first woman American captain of cruise line ship too. Great person. Very much busy driving the ship because she was at Seatrade, but really fun too. So we've got 3 new ships that have already come out. One that just came out too is the Emerald Kaya, Emerald Cruises. I'm writing about right now too. Also, other ships coming out too. Another famous one is, of course, if you like dogs. Remember that Royal Caribbean has special officers on board some of their ships. There are chief dog officers, okay? And coming up just in July, Legend of the Seas is the newest Royal Caribbean ship. She's Icon class, and she's going to have another chief dog officer, and her name is Skipper. She's being trained right now. We've shown videos of her before. She's really cute. Being trained right now, being chief dog officer. Of course, part of the training is just being able to really have fun with the guests on board, also with their crew members too, which is great too. And she's being trained now too. And once again, to remember that although she will be in the bridge maybe sometimes, but she's not really driving the ship with her paws, okay? But Skipper's her name. So Legacy's coming out this July, okay? Also, that ship actually accommodates approximately 5,610 guests, okay? So right now in the summer season, she's going to be sailing in the Mediterranean. So maybe Skipper's being trained how to speak different languages over in the Mediterranean. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, right. Also, she's going to be following year-round Western and Southern Caribbean cruises too. Also, Four Seasons Yacht has another ship coming out too this year. They didn't mention the actual date, but also Aman Group, which I mentioned too. They haven't released the date when she's going to be sailing. I think it's later this year. That's the Aman ship coming out too. Also, Windsor Cruises has a new ship coming out, of course, in December, the Star Explorer. And once again, she actually will accommodate just 224 guests. Their new ship, which is debuted in January, actually was actually the Star Seeker itself. Came out actually, no, it was actually December 28 to the 25, where she did a 17-day transatlantic cruise, and she actually was doing different sailings too. Also, we've got another ship coming out with MSC Cruises, the MSC World Asia, coming out this December, and they haven't mentioned going to be sailing yet too, but she's going to handle approximately 6,762 guests. Also, Region 7 Seas has another ship coming out this year. They haven't announced the inaugural date yet either, but it's called the 7 Seas Prestige. Also, we've got, with Explorer Journeys, that's MSC Group's luxury cruise line. Bring your ocean life to sea. but also the Explorer 3 is coming out in August this year. She will handle approximately 926 guests. Her arrival sailing is going to be August 3rd this year at 7-night Barcelona to Lisbon. Then her main season will include the Mediterranean, Northern Europe, also Greenland, Iceland. Yes, Greenland, Iceland, East Coast, USA, and also the Caribbean too. And then as far as next year, right, we're already into 2026, but next year, 2027, we've got new ships coming up too, of course. We've got the Carnival Cruise Lines, the Carnival Festival is going to come out 2027. That's Carnival Cruise Lines Festival. It will accommodate 6,400 guests. And then, of course, MSC Cruises, their next ship coming out 2027 is going to be the MSC World Atlantic. They haven't mentioned her actual sailing date, but she's going to be sailing from Port Canaveral, which is great too. And her main season is going to be in the Caribbean too. And also, one thing about Port Canaveral, really fun too, is they had a booth there. I had a friend that actually works for the Port Canaveral, but also really great too. It's actually one of the busiest ports right now too. It's about an hour away from Orlando, but I had sailed from Port Canaveral myself years ago when Disney Cruise Lines first started, also another cruise line before that. But it's busy. It's a busy port too, which is great too, which is really great too, and really fun too. Also, we've got Oceania Cruises. They got their Oceania Sonata. That's coming out summer 2027. That's going to actually accommodate 1,450 guests. They haven't really used more of that, but it's too soon now. Okay, and also we've got the Disney Cruise Line has another ship coming out 2027. It's their fourth Wish class ship. They haven't mentioned the name yet. I'll find out more later. And then as we move into 2028, Explorer Journeys has more ships coming up too next year, but also as we move into 2028, we have, of course, more ships coming up. Carnival Cruise Lines has their Carnival Tropical coming out. They haven't mentioned maiden season yet, but also we've got Celebrity Cruises. Their sixth Edge class ship comes up 2028. With that ship, they mentioned the capacity is going to be 3,260 guests. That's going to be it'll be another Edge class ship with Celebrity Cruises. Also, we've got the Oceania Cruises in 2029, but before that, we've got the I mentioned the Tropical Carnival Cruise Line 28. Some cruises, their sixth Edge class ship. They haven't mentioned him yet. We've got the World Atlantic coming out as MSC Cruises, World Atlantic. And then getting into 2029, or 2028, we've got, let's see. So, yeah, 2029, we've got another Oceania Cruises ship, the Oceania Arietta in 2029. Our guest capacity will just 1,450 guests. Also, Region 7 Seas could have another Prestige class ship 2 in 2029. That's going to be accommodating just 850 guests. And then Disney Cruise Line, they've mentioned they've got new Disney cruise ships coming out in 2029, 2030, 2031. They haven't mentioned where to go yet, anything else, but what's great too is they're growing like crazy too. So that's really good too, because Disney is great. Disney first started in the really it was like the late 1990s, really fantastic actually sailing of a Disney cruise line ship. The shorter cruise they did was really great too. So once again, we have new ships coming out. One this year, next year, and beyond, right? But that's really great too. And as far as some other things too is it's really fun too, as I mentioned before in a previous episode, but Crystal Cruises is actually building a new ship right now, the Crystal Grace. Yes, I love the name. And they've actually sent me a really, really interesting brochure that's Crystal Cruises. And it's just really, really nice because, like I said, they've been around for a long time. And after Crystal went under, they got bought out by a big company, Abercrombie & Kent, which is great too. So they're really, really great too, because I'd sailed on Crystal before, but it's really great that they actually were bought out. But anyway, right, Crystal Cruises, their new ship Crystal Grace is coming out. And as far as the dates, they mentioned that their new ship is going to be delivered in May of 2028. It's going to be their first new build in 25 years, and this is under the ownership of the Abercrombie and Kent Travel Group too. They actually will be doing the steel cutting, okay, which takes place in May this year, and then their keeling will actually start in December this year, okay. But that's really great too, because once again, it's really fun to see that Crystal was revived, which is great too. They're just very small, customized. I mean, when I sailed on Crystal myself is a few years ago when they're still around, back around 2016 or 17. But I'll tell you what, the guests on board were very, very loyal, and most of them never sailed other cruise lines. They really fell in love sailing Crystal Cruises. So to actually have a new build coming out, which is great too. That's really, really fantastic. And as far as why they decided to name the ship Grace, okay, they mention the Crystal Grace. The name Crystal Grace was chosen to reflect the ship's defined aesthetic, seamless onboard experience, also graceful way Crystal ships navigate the world. And she's going to be handling just 650 guests on board. She's 61,800 gross registered tons. She offers spacious all-suite accommodations, entertainment, world-class dining, including Uma, which is their only Nobu restaurant at sea. And also they've got their only beef bar at sea, and also menus designed by their Italy's Michelin star Allegamo brothers, which is great too. And also as far as Crystal's existing ships, they got the Promenade, which is fully circle the ship. Also, they got very high cruise passenger ratio too, and high service and attention, which really made Crystal an award-winning brand for nearly three decades too. And as mentioned, Crystal was actually purchased by Abercrombie and Kent Travel. And more details about the Crystal Graces suites will be announced a bit later on too. And what they're doing now too is she'll have her inaugural season in 2028, but they mentioned already season's set to go on sale this month. And they have a wait list too. Once again, just look into Crystal Cruises. They've done a great job. I was so glad that after, unfortunately, they went under, the current company filed bankruptcy, Crystal was actually bought by Abercrombie Kent Travel Group, which is great too. So that's really fun too. And as far as other things, of course, as mentioned, I shared about the Seatrade Cruise Global Conference, and just great because once again, it's great to meet different people. Executives are right there. And also just was really great too, because once again, they already announced the date for next year for Seatrade Cruise Global. I will be there, yes, of course. It's going to be taking place on April 5th to the 8th at the Miami Beach Convention Center, which is great, Miami Beach. It's huge, but once again, I have different areas, which is great too. And as mentioned, it's a great community too, because once again, you see different people there, and the different presentations are great too. And also just great too, because once again, they talk about different things as far as the panels. They have executives on the panels, and they focus on different things too, different meeting rooms too, and just what's going on as far as what the cruise industry is doing to it, but growing it like crazy in a good way too. Also, what we're seeing too is we're seeing cruise lines. A good example too is Norwegian Cruise Lines at their Great Stirrup. Okay, that's a private island. They actually just finally built their new dock. Before, by the way, Norwegian Cruise Line was the first cruise line that actually had a private island years ago after they launched. I was there, been there a couple of times. It's gorgeous. But what they did was the ships had anchor and you had to tender in. So sometimes if the weather got a little bit bad, they couldn't go to their island, but now they're actually finished building their new dock, which is great. So their ships can dock right there, which is great too. It's really fun to actually dock right there to walk off the ship, back on, enjoy different things. And a good example, of course, is with Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve. That's MSC Cruises, private island in the Bahamas. It's great. And what they're doing too is they're expanding, so they're be able to dock 2 ships there now, 2 pretty soon. Also, just made an announcement too. I'll share more about this later, but they mentioned they got another island coming up. And I think a really fun thing is when I was at the christening of the MSC World America last year in April, they christened the ship that evening on April 9th, of course, in Port Miami, did entertainment, christened the ship. of course, and it was really fun too. Christening was just fantastic. In the evening, that evening after they christened the ship, the cruise director came on and said, "By the way, we got a good entertainment event going on upstairs, outside deck." And Gloria Estefan performed a concert for an hour and a half. It was really great too. Then some people had to depart. Of course, I was one of the lucky ones. Actually, I was on the christening cruise itself, so we didn't sail until about 2 o'clock in the morning. We went to a private island, in the Bahamas. It's called Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve, which is great. Also, they actually opened up their conservation center where they're building coral reef trees right there, which is great. It's really phenomenal. But I had, of course, an ocean view room, and looking off the distance, I thought I saw another island. And MSC Cruises just announced they're launching a new island. I think that's the one that they're actually creating too. Very, very exclusive. I'll share more later because it's just in the process of sharing a few more details, okay? But it's really great what they're doing too. And just once again, the growth is really fun too. And the good thing is, cruise lines can adapt. They're not all the same, which is great. They're all different venues, different options. One thing that was really fun too is I attended a panel that really covered more of the like polar areas too, and that's really a growth area too. Cruise lines still, they're very, very small. Of course, they have to be specially built ships too, but also it's really great different options out there too. And that was really fun to kind of listen to what these people on this panel shared with their cruise lines that actually do these areas, including, of course, Antarctica, which is great. And as far as other things, that's really great too, because once again, too, is just being at Seatrade, you could interact with different people. I mean, I ran into people I hadn't seen in a couple of years. It's really, really fun to interact with different people you haven't seen in a while, because there's still time to do that too. They've got different venues for dining right there for people at the conference too. Different lounges. You could set up meetings in advance, which I actually did. Actually, was really fun too. Is when I was at the conference, of course, too, is in between doing the different events. Of course, I had extra books with me, and made sure that the 6 different execs in my book that were there, one wasn't there. She was at a different event. But anyway, I have a picture taken of each one of these people separately too. But also, I had a chance to really have a couple people sign my book to it. Great too. I had extra copies to give out people. It's great too. Just wonderful things they're doing in the industry. And then, as mentioned, a lot of people shooting videos and just interviewing people too. But so many options out too. You do a private area because they have different lounges for different things. And one friend of mine that actually has her own company for a while, her name is Daniela Richard. She worked for Cruise Line for years, moved up different roles, and what happened was during COVID-19, her position unfortunately was limited, so she decided to take a different route in her career. She's got background in different areas, but actually started doing her own television show. It's called Traveling with Daniela, okay? And what was really great to know her for a while, great person. She's shooting a lot of videos while she's at the conference too, of course, which is great. But another thing too is actually she had time to actually help me. I want to get my picture taken with me, one of the cruise line execs, my book. And I gave her my phone, of course, iPhone, and said she took the picture, which is really great. So it's good to have friends help you like that, which is great too. So, but great things. And like I said, they had Caribbean people doing entertainment in the trade show too. Also different types of tastings as far as cuisine. And like I said, the panels and presentations they did the first day, part of the second day were just phenomenal too. Because once again, great example how the cruise industry really works together too. It's good energy, good synergy too. It's not just they don't fight each other, which is really great too. They know there's a lot of business for everybody too, and just great because they're also doing their work too, of course, at the time. But it was just great to kind of see people there and interact with them too, because I really enjoyed that too, more than ever. As far as the new ships coming out too, it's just exciting to see the new builds coming out like crazy, and also going on into, we're talking almost 10 years later too. Once again, you can't just build a ship in a year. It takes a couple of years to build a ship. They do the sand cutting. They do the whole thing, which is great too. As far as what they do too, as far as their killing, as a whole situation, they do that. Once again, too, is they do the steel cutting first. Okay, a good example was mentioned was with Crystal Cruises, their new build, which is the Crystal Grace, won't be delivered until May of 2028, but that's only 2 years away if you think about it, almost. Also, as mentioned, they do the ship's first thing is they do a steel cutting. Okay, that takes place in the company that's building a ship. Okay, and they also do then they actually do a killing too. They do a steel cutting first. They do a killing later on. So as mentioned with the Crystal Grace, her steel cutting is going to take place this May, and then the actual killing is going to take place in December this year. And as far as details, I didn't mention much, but once again, Crystal really was really great anyway. And this is actually Crystal Cruises' first new build in 25 years. And once again, it's operating under the ownership of Abercrombie & Kent Travel Group. So that's really fun too. As far as some other things too, mentioned why the Crystal Grace. I like the way they changed they actually chose that name too. Really fun, Crystal Grace. It's easy to remember too, which I like too. Also, we've got as far as more ships coming out too. Let me see what we've got as far as the let's see trade thing too. It was great too. Because so many cruise lines have brochures, different ports, etc. too. But once again, too, we're seeing a surge in the mega ships as well as luxury new builds too. So once again, it's as far as the order book they talk about too. There's a record order book. I mean, there's so many ships coming out too, which is really great too. Once again, they mentioned some statistics right now. They mentioned that as far as this year, NC Tech Cruise River Review, they mentioned as far as right now, as for May this year, it'd be $86.2 billion. Okay. And then last year, they mentioned that what came up last year, in 2025, in January of 2025, that was $48 billion as far as new builds and investment too. Also, we got mentioned they got the order book too, and different companies, the order book right there, which is great. And as mentioned, when I was on the World of America last year, it was really fun because the ship docks right there, beautiful, and we're there on the island for 2 days, which is great. What's great too is when I was there for my stateroom, also on one side of the ship, I can actually see like a little island being built. Okay. And what came up too is they just announced this too, because once again, Pierre Francisco Bago, he is the chairman of MC Cruise Group. I got a chance to meet him again, too. Great person. He's part of the family that owns the MSC Cruises plus Explorer Journeys. Their MSC Foundation nonprofit, plus they got their Mediterranean shipping company too, which operates the container ship company too. But also, they mentioned they're developing some new projects, including taking place in Bahamas. He mentioned, let's see what he said too, that they've got a new island, okay, and it's not, it's approximately, I think, 1/3 the size of Ocean Cay, but I think I saw them kind of building it there right there. That was last year. He mentioned it's going to be called Sandy Cay. Okay, that's their new private island, but it's very close to Ocean Cay MSC Reserve. That's MSC Cruises island, which Explorer Journeys goes to too. But they mentioned it's going to be exclusive luxury experiences for both MSC Cruises, also their Yacht Club and Explorer Journeys guests. It's be really great too. They're going to have sell exclusive shore excursions too, and Sandy Cay will actually be accessed by upscale catamaran tenders from main island. It's actually due to open, I think, in 2027, 2028. It's called Sandy Cay. I love the name. It's really great too, isn't it? Sandy Cay. It's a little further away, but I saw it being built last year, and I thought that's got to be another island And Donna made the announcement, of course, which is great. So doing wonderful things too. Of course, we've got good things going on too, as far as we have different associations who they work with too, but also we've got see, the Viking, of course, is building new ships too. Viking Cruise Line building new ships too. Also, we've got updates as far as foods and beverage, okay, which is great too, because once again, originally when the cruise industry started, they had main dining, late dining, they had buffets, that was about it. But what's great too is the expansion of the cruise industry has been into also growing into specialty restaurants, different place to eat. So you get different options. In fact, there are some cruise lines that don't have main dining rooms. A good example, of course, is with Virgin Voyages, okay, where you can be a sailor on board their ships. But I had a chance to be in the Scotland when she actually was debuting. I think it was back in Sea Trade, but they had me come down. The ship was finally going to be debuting in Miami after sailing from Europe. It was really great too, because once again, we've got different options as far as people who want to take different cruises. As mentioned with Virgin Voyages, you have to be 18 years older to sail on their ships, okay? And they call their guests sailors, okay, which is great too. But being on board the ship for about 7, 8, 9 hours that evening was fantastic. And we boarded the ship about 6:00 p.m. that night. Didn't have to embark until maybe 1 or 2 o'clock morning, and they took us back to hotels in Miami Beach because the ship was actually docking at Port Miami. It was great to really get a pulse on the ships too. They got different diverse dining options too. They're included. Not big dining rooms. Also, entertainment was really, really customized too. Different areas to go to. Their pool area is beautiful. I think they have a tattoo parlor too, which is really fun too. I didn't get a tattoo, but anyway, what's really great too is they've got different options as far as sex and things too. Plus, one area I thought was really fantastic was actually called, it's their ice cream parlor, and it's called Lick Me Till. Little tastes of ice cream was really fun, but I love the name Lick Me Till. Yes, really great. How fun. And as mentioned, just different things too, as far as different things going on in the industry too. And they've got different ports, of course, too. A good example, too, of course, is I was there last fall, but Galveston, okay? They have actually had cruises sail from Galveston for a long time, including Carnival Cruise Line. And I was invited to be there. I was actually in November last year. I was attending a cruise conference I've spoken of before, but they actually wanted me to come down to Galveston because they're launching their new port right there called Visit Galveston, new port right there. And it was beautiful. The terminal's just gorgeous. It's really closer to the water, but once again, the palm trees were great. They did river cutting up in that port. We're there all day and over the evening too. Once again, it's just great to actually see Galveston because I've not been there, but they've got kind of several ships sailing Galveston as to this Norwegian Cruise Line. But this is the first time MC Cruises started sailing out of Galveston last fall. It's beautiful year round too, which is great too. As mentioned, Port Canal was growing like crazy. Also, what's really nice too is with Port Miami. What's great too is I know that MSC Cruises opened their new port there, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's brand new, beautiful. I was there last year to board the MSC World America, but really, really luxury, modern wasn't. You could go right through, beautiful. Also, as mentioned, Fort Lauderdale's got beautiful ports right there too. So many options too as far as where to go to sail out of too. And as mentioned, New York is great too. If you're interested in taking a cruise to Bermuda, I sailed in Bermuda myself too, and I sailed out of New York, which is great too. But there are a lot of options, of course, in New York. Of course, you've got different ports. Sail from too. Usually, you see more cruise lines. River cruise lines really do that because once again, with the European market, usually they have restrictions as far as the size of ships. So usually, bigger ships can't dock right there. This is why the more smaller ships have an option to really kind of leverage that in a really, really private way too. One is Osmar Cruises. They've been around for a long time, and they're great. But they have their amazing evenings too. They see later, which is great too. So it's really great too. It's really great what they're doing too. It's just great what they're doing too. Once again, who would have thought that years ago when cruises we started back in the 1970s, they would grow, but in different ways too. It's just, different ways too. It's just great what they're doing too. I just love it. And they're not stopping. I think what they do is they really want to embrace the culture, which is really great, and find out what really people are looking forward to do, get involved with when they're at their ports, which is great too. And I just love what they're doing too, because it's really great too. And sustainability is another thing that really is very important to me too. Because cruise lines have been going to liquefied natural gas. They're also doing shore power, of course, too. They can actually, different cruise lines can actually dock and they can actually re-energize their ships that way too. I know Port Miami has been doing that too. They got shore power right there too, which is really great. And it's a really great way to kind of make sure that we embrace sustainability and save the oceans in different ways too. And as mentioned, with Embassy Cruises and their Ocean Cay Embassy Marine Reserve, they're opening up their Marine Conservation Center last year. It was just amazing because, as mentioned, they'd actually done a sand cutting to actually build that lab. It had to be at least 4 or 5 years ago, but at lab last year was just amazing what they're doing too, and really building coral reef trees right there. Beautiful, amazing. As far as more things, mentioned, I talked about new ships coming out, of course, too. They talk about cruise ports too, but it really goes back to the ship involved too, because once again, they're doing great things too. But see what here real quick here too. But really, it's really nice too. Is cruise ports have really exciting they do too. A good example, of course, too is Port Canaveral. It's one of the busiest ports, of course. And what they've done too is they've really done updates as far as their terminals. They expanded parking. They got technology enhancements. And what they've done is it's nearly $1 billion in capital improvements over the next 5 years, which is great too. So how fun is that too? That's really great too. So yes, great. Because years ago, Port Canaveral was a small little port. I went there to do sailing permit cruise lines back in the 1990s, and also when Disney Cruise Lines had their ship, I did a cruise over there too. It's really great as far as what cruise lines are doing as far as their ports and where they go to, where they can dock. Sometimes, as mentioned too, is they've got as far as like Port Everglades. A good example too is the airport's very close, of course, too. So Port Everglades is an option in Florida, but they're close to the airports, which is great too. And they've got I know that Orient Express is doubling up in 2027. They've got 2 vessels in 2027. It's Orient Express sailing yachts too, because once again, we're seeing cruise lines kind of focusing on smaller ships like the yacht type experience, which is really great too. As mentioned, an example is we've got, of course, Aman at Sea is going to be debut in the Mediterranean. And the president of Aman at Sea was actually at Sea Trade Tour, didn't get a chance to talk to him and heard his presentation. It was really great too. But also what we've got too is we've got they're going to be coming out in spring of 2027, and their ship is going to be called their Amagati, Aman at Sea's Amagati ship. And it's going to be a 600-foot, just 94 passengers on board. The Amagati is going to be anchoring, and it's going to be being able to transit the Venice Grand Canal, going past those beautiful places, including San Marco Square. Also, the yacht departs in the lagoon at sunset, which is really great too. So I'm really interested to learn more about that too, because it's called Aman at Sea, and they're going to be debuting next year, spring of 2027, with their new ship, the Amagati. Once again, it's going to be just accommodating 94 guests, which is great too. I love the name. Oh my God, yes. Also, we've got, let's see here, other things too, as far as ports and things too. It's expanding like crazy, which is great too. Also, we've got two is, I mentioned shore power too, but shore power is also taking place in Copenhagen too. They've got a shore power facility for cruise ships to actually be able to use too, which is great, Copenhagen. And also, Miami's Terminal G is undergoing too. It's actually this year, Port Miami and Royal Caribbean celebrated the groundbreaking of its Terminal G, which is $345 million. Yes, to build a terminal. Yes. And it was great because they did a big ceremony, and it's great too. It's going to be built in a partnership too, and also, like I said, I'm trying to think when it's going to open here. It'll probably take. I mentioned it's going to be opening, but they did a groundbreaking on January 8th this year too. Also, they mentioned too is it's going to be designed as to meet the LEED certification too, which is great too. So once again, new port coming out, being built by Royal Caribbean Port Miami too. That's going to be open. That's really great too. Something else too is we've got let's see here. Let's see. Okay, because there's so much going on right now. The industry is really great too. We've got usually cruise lines work with culinary chefs, really great too. One I saw briefly, of course, at Seatrade Cruise Global Conference is actually Rudy Sadaman. He's a great person. I've known for several years. He's a high-end chef, really fantastic. He has his cuisine on Holland America and also Carnival Cruise Lines. That's one of their brands too, which is great too. So it's really great too, because once again, we see a lot of celebrity chefs joining different cruise lines too. But Rudy's cuisine is so beautiful. It's almost too pretty to eat. Okay. Yes. It's great though. Now, Region 7 Seas, they just introduced, it's called Evening Pool Grill Service. This is really fascinating, isn't it? It's going to be available from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's a self-service. Choices include they've got prepared strip loin, minute steak. They got their rosemary roasted chicken. They got the marinated lamb chops, also vegetable kebabs. And they've got a new pizzeria menu too. This once again is on Region 7 Seas Cruises. But they actually have a casual alfresco dining option now in the new evening service at the pool grill, which I think is wonderful, isn't it? Especially maybe you're relaxing, maybe you don't want to go to the restaurant, get dressed up. Once again, kind of depends on the cruise line too. Once again, it's really great too, because once again, it's called their, it opens up from 6 to 9 o'clock. And they've got a new pizzeria menu, which includes their Seven Seas marinara. After its December dry dock. So once again, it's going to be opening up, I think, after their dry dock in December. But once again, too, this is on Region 7 Seas. Also, besides the pool grill dining, is a selection of sparkling wines, champagne. Also, they've got the adjacent pool bars open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. too. So you can have something to drink too while eating, of course. That's kind of fun too. And some other things too going on in the industry. We've got another terminal too. Right. Okay, another terminal coming up too is in France, but in Le Havre, their cruise terminal grand opening takes place this year. It's a new cruise terminal. They didn't mention the date it's opening up too, but it's opening up too. So you see, it's going to accommodate actually 3 different ships, of course. They're going to be aiming for mission-free calls. Also, let's see here. It's really it's a really beautiful gateway to France's great landmarks and Normandy's treasures, including, of course, Le Havre, Vive Beaches, Mont Saint Michel, Paris, of course, too. And we've got, let's see here, what else here? Look here. But how fun too. And of course, what's really great too is just everything's coming up too. So once again, Newport's coming out, new ships, new private islands too, of course too. And once again, Seatrade was such a great, energetic place to be too. I love it, going to it every year. I'll be attending, of course, next year. But once again, too, is my friend Danielle Richard actually did a fantastic short 1-minute film. What's really fun too is in her film, she shared different pictures during the whole conference. And guess what? She shared the picture of me holding her book with Don Ritzell. It's also my book too. That's great too. That is great. There's some exciting things. I'm still going through a lot of things that came up this week too. So sorry for talking too long, but it's great to be there too. Thank you.
Ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. Fort Minor.
Was it?
I'm Dr. Sylvia Earle, a marine biologist, oceanographer, explorer, and I'm passionate about the protection of this blue planet. I grew up next to the ocean in the Gulf of Mexico, and I've witnessed how much the ocean has changed and how marine life has been endangered. But I know there is still time to help the ocean, which is why I was drawn to the Aponte family's sustainability mission. Explorer Journeys has a genuine ambition to connect people with the wonders of the sea, its marine life, its communities, spiritually, physically, and intellectually. We share the same values and have the same objectives to deepen people's relationship with the ocean, to explore, protect, and restore. Explorer Journeys calls it the ocean state of mind, a sensibility that will ensure the protection of this precious blue planet. Through my foundation, Mission Blue, we're working on ocean conservation, inspiring hope with champions across the world. Beginning with my extraordinary role as godmother to Explorer One, we will be heralding a meaningful collaboration between myself, Mission Blue, and Explorer Journeys and the MSC Foundation towards preserving and restoring the world's oceans, the blue heart of the planet.